Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is your girl, Miss Analytical, coming to you straight out of NYC on this Wednesday afternoon. And I just want to say thank you to everybody that's recently viewed my videos. Thank you for showing the support. It really means a lot to me. And I really am going to be making more videos to come. Pretty much, your support really inspires me to do not only more videos, but it really inspires me to really do this on a regular basis. I started making videos about 9 months ago. And even though I have made less than 50, it's really, the way my channel is growing is really inspiring me to really make it to a bigger and better brand. So, and I mean bad as a good way. So I just want to say thank you guys. So anyway, why I said that is because I'm going to start doing the Real Housewives of Potomac reviews. I'm going to make one every day, starting today, so that I could catch up. So by next Tuesday, Wednesday, I'll already be caught up with episode 8. So pretty much, I'm going to do this every day. One video, one review. And I'm going to start with the review of the Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 3, Episode 1, starting now. So, I gotta say that the Housewives of Potomac is my favorite franchise out of the whole favorite show of the whole Housewives franchise. And I like it because it's not a lot of people that's on the show. It gets to the point, they don't have a lot of episodes that's full of nonsense. You know, I hate to say this about Atlanta, but Atlanta, the well has run dry. But this show, I feel that with the casting that they're doing, they're picking people that sync well with the group. And that's very important with reality TV shows like this. So I'm going to hit right to it. For the past 2 seasons, I've enjoyed the show. And one of my favorite people on the show is Karen Huger. And why I like Karen Huger is because Karen Huger, she brings the drama in a non-ratchet way, but she can cuss you out. Don't let the Grand Dame of Potomac persona fool you. She can really give you a great cussing. But I really like that she's very interesting, that she's married to a multi-millionaire named Ray Huger, but she's not boring, you know? She's not dry. And that's why I like her. But I'm gonna mention a couple of other people too. But I'm mentioning Karen first because with the season premiere of Real Housewives of Potomac, you actually see the whole story plot unfold with the tax drama that was spoken about at the reunion of season 2, Real Housewives of Potomac. So we see the whole headlines showing up where it says, you know, the taxes, Ray Huger, the Hugers had to file bankruptcy because of the whole tax situation. We see the headlines, and it even made the Washington Post. Now, I'm going to jump to where you see Karen's new home in Great Falls, Virginia. And you see her, you know, walking around, and she's kind of looking sad. She's mostly sullen. You know, she's not really crying, but she is sullen. And, you know, she's talking, and she's basically saying that, you know, with the flashbacks at the reunion, Andy questions her about the move. And she says, you know, I moved out of Potomac because I want to be closer to my family. Now, for those who don't know, Karen is a native of Virginia, and she was raised on a farm. That's the truth. But Sharice at the reunion said that your husband is the broke Bill Gates. And Ray Huger says, I haven't been broke since I was 17. And Karen slaps him a high five. She said, ain't that right, baby? Let him know. And I really love the camaraderie that she had with her husband. And if you look at photos through the years between the two, you can tell she genuinely loves him. And he genuinely loves her. I don't believe the whole rumors with the blue-eyed man. But I'm going to talk about that later on in the series. And I'm going to tell you why I don't believe it. I think it's some hate between the rest of the group because they're jealous with what she has with Ray. But I'm going to get to that later on down the line. But pretty much She sold the house, and we saw when she had the house party at the end of season 2, which was really good. And I really loved season 2, Real Housewives of Potomac. I really did. And so people are saying, well, if you move into Great Falls, Virginia, you can't be called the Grand Dame of Potomac. So pretty much, Karen is around the house, and, she received the news about raised business taxes through a third party. And the third party called on the phone and said, Mrs. Huger, this is so-and-so. We just want to let you know that Ray has his tax issue. And, he owes millions in back taxes. And we're letting you know because the news is going to come out in 2 hours. So they called her before the news hit. And they told her, because of legal issues, don't really discuss it. So Bridget, which is Karen's sister, tells her that you are strong. You're going to pull through this. And the only thing with Karen is like, Ray protected me. I'm not broke. But I knew there was something going on, and he wouldn't really confide in me. And I kept asking him, like, why didn't you tell me? And he basically was protecting her. And that's a good man. That's a good man. So afterwards, we see Giselle and Ashley. They're meeting up for dinner. Now, Ashley, she had the drama last year with her husband because of the Oz restaurant, because they was selling kangaroo meat and nobody wanted to eat that shit. I could have told them, listen, it ain't going to sell in Potomac. Nobody want to eat kangaroo meat. I don't want to eat that shit. And I haven't eaten red meat in like 6 years, and I don't want to eat that shit. But basically, at the reunion, they had, filed for separation. And we learned from Ashley that, even though Ashley has traveled the world over the summer, and, she's been enjoying her own, life free of Michael, she feels like the restaurant took a toll on their marriage. Now, meanwhile, Giselle was dating Sherman. We saw Sherman at the season 2 reunion. And Sherman looks like Steve Harris from Diary of a Mad Black Woman. I just had to say that. And Giselle is in love with Sherman. And Giselle advises her, don't walk away until you know that you're sure that the marriage is over. And I agree with that. I feel as though you should give it another try unless your heart is no longer in it. Unless you know, I can't do this anymore, don't walk away. So that's how I feel. Now, then we get to the sequence with Monique. Monique, she loves her new home. She loves her new home because, it's fabulous. And she moved to the new home because they wanted to extend their family. Now, if you know Monique, I don't care what people say about Monique being braggadocious, being, a little bit uppity, conceited, always talking about the things she had. I love Monique. And I'm going to tell you why. Monique saved the Real Housewives of Potomac season 2. Her addition to the show and getting rid of Katie Frost was good. She has a black husband. And we need to see black love on TV. I don't care what nobody say. It's something that we need to see. And even though he's an NFL player, she really genuinely loves her husband. She really does. And he really loves her. And I feel that Monique brought a positivity to the show, and she changed the course of the show. Because before, even though season one was moving a little bit dry with the Katie girl, but when she came, it's like she spiced it up. And she could go toe-to-toe with Ashley. And I thought that was really good. That's why I like her. And she's going to stay on the show. Because she said that she's going to stay. So meanwhile, Monique wants to throw a party for her husband, Chris, who's going to turn 40 this year. Now, what we learned is that Chris don't want the party. Because last year when they had the party for Milani, they spent over $100K. And he said, we're not doing that no more. I don't believe they spent over $100K, but I think they spent in the thousands. But meanwhile, it's revealed that he hasn't spoken to his mother in over a year because he found out that she was calling Monique all sorts of heifers behind his back. Now, I'm going to tell you this. It's one thing for a man to not like his wife being disrespected by his mother. But when a man no longer talks to his mother because of the disrespect that she's doing to his wife, I feel as though it's more to the story. I don't think it's just her calling her heifers. I think she doesn't like the fact that Chris married her. And she wanted a wholesome girl that was from the South, mainly probably Alabama. And I think that she has despised him for that because it didn't go her way. And I believe Chris got fed up with all of it and was like, Mom, this is my life. This is my wife and I love her. And we have a family together. And maybe if you don't want to support me, how can you love my kids but not love my wife? It's one of those things. And I don't think Monique is a bad person. But I don't think Monique could be maybe all that nice person about either. So it could go both ways. But I'll talk about it later. So in the series, because I'm sure that her name's going to come up. So meanwhile, we have Robin. And I love Robin. Robin's my second favorite. And the reason why I love Robin is because Robin has the same name as my sister. And she has sort of the same personality as my sister. And a reason why I like Robin is because Robin, if you notice her taglines, she have these real polished taglines. They plain, but they're so polished. Like season 2, don't let the green eyes fool you. I'm as real as they come. It's like simple things like that. And I think she's like that because she's an Aries. And Aries can be, they're very plain. They don't like gordiness. If you look at how Robin dresses, she doesn't really, even like on the news, she doesn't really wear ruffles. She likes satin. She don't like things like that. She doesn't like stuff like that. Like, she likes things very plain. And I like Robin, And Robin dances to her own beat of her own drum. How they say it. So, we see Robin and Juan at the store with the 2 little boys, with her little son. And she says, her and Juan are doing much better. He was hired as a head basketball coach at Coppin State. And that is the dream job. That's the job he wanted. And they're both happy because it puts them in a better financial position. Because if 2 years back, Juan and Robin invested money with his best friend into a club. And they found out that the money didn't really go into the club. It really went more to his pocket, to the friend's pocket. And when the IRS was coming for him, he basically, checked it out, if you know what I mean. He couldn't handle the heat because he knew his ass was going to jail. And occasionally they have sex. Now, we know that they're divorced. And I believe Robin has never been with another man other than Juan, which is why she's doing this. I don't think she's been with any other man other than Juan. I believe that she is the quintessential good girl. I really do. Now, this is when it gets interesting because they talk about Karen and Ray. And Robin says, she is a supporter of Ray. But she says, she's known Karen for a while. And she has been known to stress the truth. And her husband says, listen, however you feel about this situation, you do not want to become an Ashley. Don't be that person that gets information and then goes back and tells the rest of the group and then spins it and then tries to chastise them for something they confided in you. And you notice Robin don't really say anything. And there's a reason why, because you're going to see it at the end of the show, the end of the episode. And it's the conversation is the last 5 minutes of the season premiere is very important. Very important. So we get back to little Miss Ashley. And it's kind of interesting because excuse me. It's kind of interesting because Ashley talks about how Michael disrespected her mother. And he basically don't want to deal with the situation with the mom. But before that, how they broke up was this. Michael basically said, this is what Michael said. He said, this is no longer your home and get your shit out. That's what he told her. And basically, it really, really messed her up. And so she talks to her friend Dawn, and she tells her, I'm living by myself. And pretty much, I gotta say this. Like I say, I don't think Michael really wants to be with her. I think Michael wants to be with her as a father. And I think Ashley married this man because she don't really know she's never seen her father before. That's a whole nother story. But we see her talking to Michael, and he brings flowers to her. He brought her flowers, and he wanted her back. And he said, and it's revealed that the real problem, like I had said before, is the mom. And he says the mother situation is stressful to him, and you need to establish boundaries with your mother. Otherwise, I'm not going to be in this marriage with you. And this is what I'm going to say. Okay. I believe that Michael does not like the fact that she is so close to her mother that her mother is codependent on her. However, you're going to see in the series that the mom is around, not so much that she's codependent on Michael. She don't trust Michael. And I get the sense that Michael berates her and is very abusive to her. And I think the mom caught it. And I think the mother caught it before the show was even happened. And I believe the mom is like, yes, I may have some financial situation because the mother had to file for bankruptcy. That's how she moved into the home. But even when I get back on my feet, I don't feel comfortable with you being by yourself with this man. It's something with the situation that I'm scared of, because the mother was in a domestic violence abusive relationship too. She revealed that last year. So that's the situation that I get from the mother, that she might be broke, she might be codependent, and Michael don't want to take care of her. But with the mother, it's like, it's not me being so much financially broke. I don't want you breaking my daughter, if you know what I mean. I don't want you breaking her ribs. I don't want you breaking her face. I don't want her to be a domestic violence victim like how I was. So here we have the situation with Michael and Ashley. And Ashley is like, I want to give it another try. And Michael, he kind of wins her over, so to speak. Now, meanwhile, we going to Giselle with the makeup foundation called Every Hue. And she's putting makeup on her daughter. Now, what I noticed is that she's a number 9 with her makeup because she's really light skinned. But she says her daughter is an 8. And I felt like her daughter's a brown skin. They're not light skinned. And, Jamal Bryant, the pastor who she was married to, he's very dark skinned. There's no way she could be an 8. But Sherman pops up, and what I notice about Sherman is that he interacts with the children. And they really like Sherman. And they talk about Sherman all the time. And Giselle's like, my daughters act like they're dating Sherman, But Sherman likes them. He talks about the makeup and stuff. And it was innocent. It wasn't real creepy, pervy kind of stuff thing. And I think Sherman and Giselle really like each other. And I know she got a type. She liked them chocolate men. She really loved them black men. Being a Creole girl, she really loved her chocolate men. But that's the one thing I like about Giselle, is that she's not color struck. And I like to see black people that are not color struck, because that's a whole nother conversation. And I'm just gonna pause on that one, because I don't want to change the topic with the show, because I don't want this to be like light skin versus dark skin. So I'm gonna go to Monique. And Monique, she loves talking about her home. And she says, I love my new home. But however, She's, she loves her new home. She's like, the Marriott owners live next door. Those are her next door neighbors. And the Washington Redskins owners, they live down the block. And she's busy. And basically, she's like, I'm under stress because I got 2 kids who are under 5. I got a nanny who gave me 1 month's notice. And she says, I got nonprofit work I'm doing. And plus, my husband wants to get pregnant, me to get pregnant again. And I'm going to tell you about Monique. Monique loves herself. She loves her creature comforts. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that Monique came from a hard life growing up. And that's what this really comes down to. That's what it really comes down to. So, then we have Karen Huger and Ray. And Karen Huger is around her house. And Ray asks her, if she's doing okay. And Karen questions, like, I'm good. But she questions him as to say, why didn't you never inform me about the taxes? Why did I have to hear it from a third party? And like I had said earlier, Ray was like, I was trying to protect you. And this is what Karen explains. Karen says, the one thing I learned from Ray was how to invest. We always filed our taxes separately. And he did that. And I didn't really understand why he did that. But in the long run, he did it to protect me. He never wanted Karen to have tax issues. And she said, thank God. Because I don't think Karen could survive jail. I'm just saying. I'm just saying it. But also, too, it was Ray's business taxes. It wasn't his personal taxes. It was taxes of business affecting him personally. See, with the personal taxes, marriage couples, it would have been, I think, filed jointly. But then again, they filed separately, so to speak. So he never wanted her to have any issues. However, I'm a little bit perplexed about why Ray has bad taxes, though. That's what I need to know. But I'm going to talk to some accountants about that because I never really was into accounting like that. I'm going to talk to them about that. So anyway, we get to the best part of the premiere episode. Karen and Robin meeting up for lunch. So, Karen, the first thing Karen says when she's on her way to meet Robin is that she don't know her as long as she knows the ladies. But she said it meant a lot for her to really have the support from Robin, with the fact that when she had the conversation about Ray's taxes, she really supported her and she really appreciated it. And Robin is going to say in her confessional, I have doubts about the whole thing. But, I'm here to meet up with her and, I'm here to talk to her because I got some questions to ask her. So they sit down, they hug. And Karen says, Robin, I really appreciate you, being a really good friend in my time of need because it really meant a lot to me that you really called to see if I was okay. It really meant a lot. And I thank you for that. Now, Karen poured out her heart to this woman. Now, this would have been Robin's perfect chance to really say, you know what? I'm not going to do this. I'm going to backtrack this. I'm not going to be shady like the rest of the girls. I may say, did you know? I may do that. But I'm not going to say, I think you're lying. But instead, Robin says, you know what? I do have doubts about the whole situation. And Karen's like, what you mean? And she was like, did you know? And Karen's like, did I know? I didn't know. And she was like, I believe that you knew all along. And Karen was like, whoa. What you mean? So basically, Ron was like, I basically, spoke about it to the girls after I spoke with you. And she's like, whoa. You shared our personal conversations and you shared my business with the girls. Right as soon as you hung up with me, you went and ran and talked to the ladies behind my back. She was like, you a backstabber. And I totally agree with Karen Huger, the Grand Dame of Potomac, even though she lived in Great Falls, Virginia. That was the truth. You don't do anything like that. You don't do that. Even if Karen is the biggest bitch on the planet, You don't run behind after you call her to give your sympathy about a situation, and you run back and tell the girls. And I like Robin, but Robin, you was a shady bitch for that. You was a shady bitch for that. And I felt like Robin should not have done that. She should not have shared a conversation. She could have talked about her, but not shared a conversation with her about what they spoke about to the girls. She shouldn't have done that. And Karen's like, read my face. I don't owe shit. She was like, Karen Huger is debt free and loaded. Okay, honey. And she tells her something that was very important. You got to make millions to owe millions. Okay? And, Robin's still going on and on, yapping her gums. And Karen, she loses her appetite, and she was like, I'm done. She was like, anyway, she was like, I'm done with it. And so then Robin puts her dig in and says, that's why you had to move to Grand Falls. You can no longer be the Grand Dame of Potomac. And she was like, I'll be the Grand Dame wherever I go. She was like, at least I'm married and I'm single. Where you live at? And so she basically says, you live in Hanover or by yourself. She was like, I'm living anyway. I'm living, and I'll be fabulous. But you are in Hanover by yourself, while I'm being fabulous in Grand Falls, Virginia, because I can make it anywhere. She was like, but you at Hanover. And where is Hanover at? Nobody ain't talking about no damn Hanover. Because I know I'm not. But I've heard of Great Falls, Virginia. And that's a very beautiful town. And she got a man. She got Ray Hooker. And they ain't never going to divorce. But you at Hanover by yourself. You not with Warren Dixon. Y'all occasionally have sex. But you're not married to him on paper. So she walks away. And that's how it ends. And I think Karen won that. I say my girl Karen won that. She won that. My girl Karen won that shit. Okay. So on that note, I just want to say I really liked the season premiere episode of Real Housewives of Potomac. And I'm going to give you season 3, episode 2 tomorrow. Maybe season 3, episode 3 tomorrow as well. But I'm going to give you every single one until I catch up by episode 7. So on that note, take care. Thank you for viewing this video. Talk to you real soon. Subscribe to my channel on YouTube and take care.